everything's amazing. I'm that guy that talks to his phone in his room in the darkness. No, I have my lights on actually this time. Amazing. But yeah, so where should I start this part of? Recap. Naruto has ice release. He's part of the Yuki. But he's part of the Yuki clan, or most people call it, what was, Haku's clan. And so, as the last time I left off was him arriving at the third Hokage's place for another day of taijutsu training, or quote unquote, it's more like physical training, all the regular stuff, and he would be taught how to fight hand-to-hand combat by, what was the dude, the third Hokage, Hiruzen, Sarutobi. Since I was dumb and I was calling him a freaking, Senju, even though I knew he was a Sarutobi, since they say his name, literally, I'm dumb. If you guys know that video where I kept on calling him what was it? Senju? Yeah, he's a Sarutobi, which are known for their ability of using fire jutsus. And apparently, you know that jutsu where he uses a fire and a mud technique? That's what he's mostly known for. This is great genius of being able to combine two jutsus together, or two elements like that. As him and Naruto's already has that street brawler style, but that wouldn't work against them, as Sarutobi would be pretty much knocking him backwards, flipping him, saying the best way to learn how to fight, or how I was taught, or how I taught others, is to just let them adapt their own style, since teaching them a certain way of fighting will only make them adapt to how your body is able to fight. Explaining some people had greater flexibility or greater strength, which they need to have to learn their style of fighting. It's just as you are able to adapt your own way to fight off another, but I would say it's more better to do this with not having copy soldiers. So get ready. As you just approve on me. But of course I'm gonna switch out with somebody every other day, since if you get used to fighting the same person, you never improve. You only improve to try to defeat me. As he would continue this, as Naruto would keep on trying to fight, and he would try to copy some of his moves, but they won't work for him, since there's moves of an old man. Eventually, it would be time for a new person, with Ombu walking in with a dog mask. As he says, this is really your opponent from now on. Since he's able to copy people's taijutsu skills very easily, as the man would start fighting him, as he's told to not use a spear, your speed and all that, and to adapt it to his in order to fight, where he's not just going to use one punch on one quick step, like stepping on him and running to him. As you continue doing this, Naruto would adapt, and I'd say this would take him a month, since he's not reading from a book and just learning a jutsu. A month and a half, and yeah, that would be good. since he's just learning how to fight, he would still have his Street Fighter-esque fighting, but he would have more direct punches, and he is like, he's gonna make his own taijutsu skills and all that, as he would pretty much adapt his own. With them, you see him jump onto a Kakashi and would throw a punch in his back. As this would not really hurt Kakashi, but it would push him down a little bit. As he'd swing his hand back, kind of hit Naruto. As he would jump off and flip. As whenever he runs in to do like his street brawler type of fighting style, Naruto would start throwing palms instead. But not like full on like spinning around and all that like the Hyugas. But he would throw palms, which he's smashing into his chest area where his lungs are. As he would try to throw a punch to his face, as he would shoot his leg where his fist is, throwing a very high kick with great flexibility to kind of kick him in the face after he's distracted by a punch, but Kakashi would block it with his other hand. Since you guys probably can tell it is Kakashi in the mask, why I give him a dog mask. As well, during training with Hiruzen says that most martial arts or taijutsu needs flexibility, so we have trained you in that. Whereas he was trained by him to be very flexible. As Naruto would try to jump above him, and he would wrap his leg around him. And he would try to grab him from his arm and try to dislocate it. But Kakashi's pure strength, and since he is stronger than him, he would pull it up, twisting his arm back, as he would slam a punch into Naruto's chest, which would knock him out as he would be holding it. As Sarutobi would say, that's enough for one day, now head home, as he would. As he would be healed by some medic that's near him, just to make sure he's not injured, walking back into his clan, where he would be face to face with a ice blade going to be stabbed at him in the face, which he would dodge, since he's used to Kakashi, or the man of dog mask, to him, for doing, whenever they're about to start, for doing a sneak attack at the beginning, to which the man would say for building up his reaction. And he says he's not going to do it any day. I'll even do it if you're on break. And all that. So Naruto's used to sort of dodging attacks. And since Kakashi usually doesn't go full speed to doing this, but he does go relatively faster than when he does this in training. So he's used to being punched in the face as he's trying to dodge. So this blade to him would be not even half the speed of Kakashi. So he would dodge it as he would throw a kick at the user, which he would block it with his hand, and he would try to stab at him as Naruto jumped back. As he would get ready, as you'd see two other guys would come around him, as they would go behind him, and all that, as the people that he beat up during his birthday 2 months ago would go into the other side, blocking any way for him to come out, as the gates block every side of his block. As the kid with the blade in front of him tells him to come at him. And I'm gonna cut you down. As Naruto would put his hand in his pocket, as he would say, "Do it," as he would run towards him with his blade, as he would pull out 3 ice kunais, throwing them at his head, which he would not be ready for this, and he gets to dash downwards or jump downwards to dodge them. As they would say, I didn't... Wait, he can use the ice release. I thought the clan people said that he had no chakra control to do that, or any control of doing it. As they would go over and grab the kunais, saying they would look at it, and they would notice that these are perfectly made. As they say, what? Why do they look like this? Maybe he carved these and they were just in his pocket? Yeah, that must be it. There's no way you can make this perfect of a kunai in mere seconds. But as Naruto would put his hand against his arm, or against his hand, creating the fist on it, he would push his hand forward as the dude would swing his blade at him, saying "Ice Shield." As the blade would hit against it, as his blade would start cracking, as he would swing again, breaking it, as he would reform it, as he would jump over it, swinging at Naruto again, as Naruto would throw a punch, punching him down, as that would make him angry, since he just punched him in the face and he's actually bleeding from it. As he would run at Naruto, making his blade extend whenever he gets close to him, which Naruto would cover his arm with ice as he would swing, which would break most of his blade. It would still hit him in the arm, not cutting out as bad as it would have if he didn't put up the ice on his arm. As the Nine Tails looks at this, and he says, there are more of them, as he looks and sees the other kids coming at him with the ice. As add some chakra to him. As Naruto would put ice around him, as he would sing the Nine Tails again, saying hi to Kurama. As he would tap him on the forehead, transferring some chakra, which would swirl around him. And Naruto would put this chakra to use, saying, putting his hand on the floor, saying, watch this. As the ice would break, as they would see, as he'd throw balls of ice at them, which they would pop open, breaking open full of snow, covering the floor of them, getting all over them, as the snow would slowly freeze into ice, freezing them, which they do have a immunity, or slight immunity to ice, but if they can still get frostbite, if a stronger user uses their to freeze it below 0, pretty much making it extremely cold. And it would also, at the same time, freeze any liquid in the body. As Naruto would throw some more, as they're confused, as they think this is attack or distraction. So he would put his hand on the ground again, since the first time they didn't notice all the ice, because they assumed that it was their own, since they were using ice from their arms and that's where they froze. As people would notice that they're starting to get freezed on their foot, as they would be locked down. as Naruto's makes a sword. As they would slowly see him make a perfect sword, saying, "Now it's my turn." As they say, "Hey, we were just playing around." As he swings the sword, gonna cut them all across the chest. As a man would have would have grabbed his blade with his two fingers, destroying his eyes with a touch. As he says, "What are you doing out here? Go back to your homes, it's curfew." Turning, as they would see one of the high-ranking clan members out there, as he looked towards Naruto, spitting at his feet. And as Naruto wouldn't care since he's used to it, and would go home. And this is where I'll do a time skip, all the way up to the last day of, what was it called? What was it? The academy. I was dumb, I knew it. No, I'm not dumb. I knew it all along. I was just playing you on. But the class would be full of a lot of clan members, ranking all the way to the Nishibas, all the way up to the Uchiha clan, even the Hyuga clan. With people hearing from other clan members that walk around town, talk it out. I would say most of the clan members know that Naruto is supposed to be one of the weaker parts of the clans, so they don't really think he's that very strong. But Shikamaru knows this, since he has seen him whenever he was training with the Hokage, whenever he was with his father one time, showing him around the Hokage's place, and they're about to head off somewhere. So you look out the window, all the way to a back place that's fenced off, and he thinks that's newly added, since he didn't see that from the outside, and that's new, since last time he came here, it wasn't here. As he's around 8, starting the academy, and meeting Naruto and all that, as he would see Naruto facing off with some Anbu, which he knows what Anbus are. Which the Anbu is... This is a new one. He has black hair and all that. Which he's even using jutsus against them. And so is Naruto, forming ice blades. And ice, like, barriers and all that. And ice shards. Even seeing Naruto pull off not even an ice jutsu, but a water style jutsu. Since using a water bullet, hitting around the area, since he sees clones of the person against him, as Naruto used snowy breath to slowly freeze the area around him. And this would add on to the power of snowy breath with the water bullet jutsu. It would be like a combo attack, increasing the freezing power of his breath. Since he knows Naruto's faking, since the Hokage told him about, and the Kyuubi or Kurama told him that the stuff that he was taught in the first 2 weeks of training were actually everything from the academy, where if he's heading for the academy for the first day. So he was told not to show it off and to progress at the bottom of the class. Since one of the most shinobi's strongest weapon is deception, as Naruto would do this. So, it would be time for the everybody to do all the jutsus. Of course, Naruto did perform very badly, having half-dead clones and not able to do a substitute and all that, and not be able to use a transformation since he messes with how the people look. And so he'd be named dead last for everybody and doing poorly on throwing kunais. And so whenever he does the whole everything, he does it perfectly well. But of course, it would not overshine anybody. It would be average. As he'd still be dead last since of all of his grades through the years being put on Team 7. He's told in advance. I'd say they are told in advance. But of course, Mizuki would say to him that the tests with their Junin will only read out one of them and kick them off and switch for a new one. So he needs to learn jutsu and all that, telling him about him scroll stealing. But Naruto would know that this is a lie since he can tell a deception out of his voice. But he would say this is interesting and he would just give it back to the Gramps afterwards. He won't mind if I take a look, but I won't give it to Mizuki if he asks for it. As he would do this, the same in canon, but he would just walk in next to Haruz and turn the scroll into a normal scroll that he normally takes from the place and walk out. Which Hiruzen knows that Naruto took it and he's wondering what he's doing with it. As he uses his ball to look over him. As he would pretty much run into it, he would look for the scroll, looking for any interesting jutsus, seeing one from his clans, which it is similar to the body flicker, but it's a chakra enhanced one or a element enhanced one, which allows them to travel through stuff quicker if they have their element. And it was known as a lame name since I don't think of a name in Japanese, but it'd be like Ice Body Flicker, which sends them faster in the two elements of ice, which would be water and wind. So it would send them through the air, and if he's in water, it would transfer through it faster. So yeah. But he would learn this one, and he would see the Strata Clan Jutsu, which he remembers this one whenever he battled against, Yamato or the man in the monkey mask, I'll say he has in this one. And he learned Kakashi's name before this, since he did train with him for such a long time. Learning that. But he remembered that he had some kind of clone jutsu, but it was wood clone. But this one's shadow clone. So he would try it out. As he would perform it very quickly. As that would be not very surprising for Hiruzen, since he did escalate very fastly, learning all the Academy Jutsus in a matter of 2 weeks. And it was a B-rank jutsu, so it would surprise him a little bit. But he would suddenly see, here's one of the Naruto's he would create next, would open its mouth, seeing a explosion tag. Which he would be very surprised. And that one, since he learned that jutsu one after another, but as the tag would slowly go down, it would just poof smoke out of it. As he, Naruto would say that was a fail, he'll try it later. Which I would not give Naruto ability to summon 100 exploding clones. So I'll limit him to 10. Yeah, that's a good amount. Especially saying he can like summon 1,000. But he'll get ready to leave as Mizuki would come and try to take the scroll. But Naruto would say no. As he would put his hands together, sing Ice Blade. My arm just popped whenever I did the motions. Sorry, I'm a weirdo and I did the motions with it. Yeah. As he would say Mizuki, he has to take it from his hand, and this would be his test. As Mizuki would throw his blade, or big shuriken at him, as Naruto would swing his blade, saying he would throw it, as he would whisper something, as Mizuki would see his blade have frost appear on it and cut it in half. Which he would say absolute zero cut. Saying that this move is called absolute zero cut since I freeze something all the way down to its core, weakening it, and I would send chakra hitting against it out of a chakra, a very weak signal of it, which should almost make it look like he just swinged his blade and cut through everything. But it's not, it is deception. But it does look like a cool move. As he would do this, as Mizuki would feel frost appear on his neck, his darts would swing and he would say, oh no. As nothing would happen. As he says, you tricked me. As he said, did I? As Mizuki would have been suddenly slashed across the chest. Since Naruto does not want to kill Mizuki. But as this would happen, of course, Ruka would run in. Since he heard somebody talking about third Kage's watching, Naruto would take the scroll ceiling, and they think that he was about to tell them to leave, so they went ahead and went. As all this would happen, Ruka would have been stabbed by him, since another frost mark would appear across Mizuki, and he thinks that if he puts something in the way of it, they will be cut. As he would cut down Ruka, as this would make Naruto mad, and he says that she better regret that. As he'd swing his blade, using the move, as he would swing it, it would not be a very move that he'd use his blade for, but he'd swing it, freezing the ground underneath Mizuki, saying, Frozen Hell's Hound Dogs, as Mizuki would be suddenly bit on his legs by frost dogs. They wouldn't do much to him but hold him down, as the third head would pop up from it, and it would bite on Mizuki's side, holding him down. As Naruto would run up to him, sloshing him on his body all over. And so, it would be done. As Naruto would grab the scroll, heading back to Hokage, as he says here, and here's Mizuki, throwing him down on the ground. thing that